Hi guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to review the Morgan Taylor Spring 2022 collection. This was sent to me by Morgan Taylor as PR, and two of them actually broke on the way to me. I don't remember which two. I think it was this one and this one, or maybe this one and this one. I know it was this one for a fact because all my bottles that were, not broken were pink. And I bought replacements from Polished Picks, so I will link everything down below so you guys can find them. And that's it. Let's get into the swatches. All right, first up we have Bloom Service. This one is a fantastic green. It's very like a dusty sage, maybe. Is that what you guys see here? I think it's like a dusty sage green. It's like a one coater. I think, on my current nail length is definitely a one coater. Even for longer nail lengths, might be a one coater, but like at most two. It's creamy, it's perfect, it self-levels, it's absolutely gorgeous. Not a single negative thing to say. Up next, we have Plant One on Me. And this one is a beautiful, romantic, I think it's like a vintage, dusty rose. I say so many descriptive words, but sometimes I don't know. I'm wearing it here on my thumb. It's gorgeous. It's another fantastic formula, very similar to the green I just showed you guys. Near one coat, at most two. Up next, we have Lilac, What I'm Seeing. And this one is a very dusty purple. Like a blushy purple. Is that a thing? Like if blush was purple and it was dusty. That's what I see here. I'm wearing it here on my index finger. I don't necessarily see lilac. Unless it's like a very, very dusty lilac, maybe. Up next, we have Best Buds. And this one is like very light gray, but it has a lot of blue undertones. Now, this formula is a little bit more chalky. It's extremely white based, and I'm showing it here on my ring finger, and on the swatches, you're gonna see it at 2 coats because it does get even, but you wanna do the first coat very thin, and then on the second one, float it a tiny bit more. Don't do like a super thick coat, but also not a super thin one. And if you float it just a tiny bit, you're going to see that it's going to be even and beautiful in 2 coats. Up next, we have Pick Me Please. And this one's a blush pink base with a blue shift. You can see it here on camera, very, very obviously in the bottle. But it doesn't really translate to the nail. You do not see the blue shift on the nail at all. Now, I don't know if I take it out into the sunlight, if you're going to be able to see it. I don't see it here. Anyways, the formula wasn't good. I don't even know how else to say this. You can make it work. I mean, I made it work. This is 2 coats, and you're gonna see on the live swatch, I made it work. But it's not an enjoyable formula that goes on nicely and buttery like all their other polishes. This one's more of like one of those complicated ones, right? So I recommend that you do a thin first coat. You might want to do a second thin coat and then a slight float at the end. So if you're new to my videos and you haven't heard this term before, whenever I mention floating, what I'm basically saying is you don't want to press too hard against the nail. That's normal, right? That's a normal when you're pressing down. But when you float, you want to do a little bit more of like that. You see the difference when you float something? How it's a little bit thicker? You barely put pressure. I don't know if you guys can tell, but you can see that how this one is less intense than this one. This one has more polish, but it's still not super thick. It's just a light float. You don't want to put too much pressure on the, on the brush into the nail so that it doesn't cause streaks. So for this polish, I recommend that you do that. One to 2 thin coats, and then float your last one. Then it's gonna be fine. Like I did a thin coat here and floated a second one, and it looks good. But it's one of those that you have to work. It's not like this one, for example, you can just throw it on however you want. It's going to be great. Or this one, right? For this blushy one, you're going to have to work a little bit. But, if you love the color, then, look at it. It's really, really pretty. But just be aware. All right. Last but not least, we have this. I'm not going to pretend that I know how to say this, but it's a play on words on flirty. So, feeling flirty. You guys are going to see the spelling. I think this is like flower in French or something. Anyways. This one is going to be one of 2 things. It's either going to be for you a jelly polish that you're just going to wear like that, or you can use it as a topper. So you're going to see in the live swatch and in the swatch picture that I'm going to show you how it looks like as it builds up. But I also wanted to show it to you guys on top of the other polishes. So the swatch wheel that I have here has the whole collection, right? And I want to show it to you guys on top of them, just so that we can get a feel for it. And here it's shown at 2 coats. Now, if you do the first coat, because the base is pink, at 2 coats, you see it very obviously that it's a pink. But at the first coat, you barely get that touch of pink. So it's gonna be one of those really pretty ones to wear by itself, like if you just want barely something, you know. It has some really pretty silver and blue little like shards in there. I don't know if I see like flakies or just like shards that look like broken glass. It's really, really cute, but it's very delicate, you know. So let's go ahead and top all of these, and I'll do 1 coat in all of them, and I'll show you. I don't want to make you suffer through it, but I will do it and come right back. All right, I did 1 coat of this jelly / topper in all of them from the collection, and it's really delicate and really, really gorgeous. Now, since it does have a pink tint on the base, I don't really recommend it on top of these 2, because if you notice, it kind of changes the color, right? Slightly so, but it changes. Like if you compare it to the original, you are gonna see that it changed. So, but it's really gorgeous on top of the other 3 because they're the same color family, right? So here you can see how he changed it a little bit. Very, very little, you know? But just be aware that it will change the color because it's not clear, it's pink. So you can see here 2 coats of the topper and 1 coat of the topper. And so on top of this 3, even though it also changes its, you know, this is hard, changes it slightly. It's not, you know, same family, right? Actually, it's really pretty for this one. It kind of like removes all the imperfections that you might get from doing, let's say, 2 coats, because that's a streaky one. Well, it doesn't have to be streaky, but it could get streaky. It barely changes anything for this 3, because like I said, it's the same color family, and I do these things all the time. Anyways, here is the topper. All right, guys, so there you have the Morgan Taylor Spring 2022. If I have to pick a favorite, it's gonna be the green. That's it. Thank you so much for coming to my review, and let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye.